What if Carnage actually became a good guy? Welcome to the Comicstorian channel, where I take some of your favorite trade paperbacks and single issues and I break them down into digestible bites to help you understand. Then I read them dramatically back to you. All alterations to the panels, text, and images are to prevent copyright problems, and all art is owned by its respective companies. We basically take your favorite comic book storylines and turn them into a synopsis so that you understand what is happening in the world of comic books, or you get to understand your favorite characters a little bit better. The idea here is that you can run out and buy the next comic book and know what's going on, or know the history of the characters. And if you enjoy this content, consider giving this video a like, subscribing to our channel, and hitting that bell and turning on notifications as we bring you videos 2 to 5 times a week, all giving you information on the world of comic books. Now, there is a storyline known as Axis out there, and in that storyline, all of the superheroes became villains and all the villains became superheroes. Their minds were switched around, basically going to the exact opposite of what they were. Carnage, of course, got turned into a good guy, and there's a 3-issue series in which we explore the concepts of a crazy and wacky good guy Carnage. And that is what today's storyline is, the 3-issue storyline of when Carnage was a good guy. Let's get into it. In the city of New York, a man was reborn again. Lust, gluttony, and greed so far as the eye can see. The lies had many voices, the sins man faces. This man then takes form. He knows what must be done. He is the dark at the end of the light. He is the Sin Eater. However, there is another lurking in the shadows, a villain turned hero named Carnage. There was a brawl that knocked the world off of its axis, some yin-yang magic mumbo-jumbo, and all Carnage knew was that he was going to be one of the good guys now. Carnage was going to be a hero! He just didn't know where the hero life started. But that was when he heard the scream, a damsel in distress. Carnage killed the woman's attacker with a punch to the face when a second man attacked. He cut the man's hand, and the woman screamed again, something about the second man being her pimp. The crazy thing was, she attacked him. But Carnage knew that she was just being hysterical. He needed to be gentle with her. So instead of killing her, he punched her, and he knocked her out. However, his good deed was seen by others, and they accused him of being a villain. The villain Carnage! What rotten luck! Meanwhile, across town, the news reporter, Chris Rollins, decided to have a relaxing evening at a massage parlor to let go of some of the week's stress. But waiting for him wasn't his usual masseuse. The Sin Eater appeared once more to absolve Chris of his sins. Chris fought back, grabbing at the Sin Eater's mask, and when he pulls the ski mask away, he sees that it isn't Stanley Carter, but a ghastly green skull. The next day, the reporter Alice Gleason broke the news that there have been a series of murders, all targeting newscasters. Except when the feed cut, Alice actually didn't care much for Chris. In fact, she told her boss that she wanted his beat. It wasn't long for the Sin Eater to make his move, attacking the officer in Alice's own apartment, armed with his faithful shotgun, absorbing all of the sins of the fallen man. Seeing her chance to get a leg up, Alice reported the events on her phone when the Sin Eater turned his gun to her. Thankfully, Carnage was there to save her, doing only what Carnage can do. He used his tendrils to turn the Sin Eater's gun on himself, and he shot him dead. Alice screamed and fainted, but Carnage told her, "You're okay now. I'm one of the good guys. Now, let's get you somewhere safe." But what Carnage didn't notice was that the Sin Eater's head, even though it was shattered in a green, goopy mess, it began to stitch itself back together. Later, as Alice woke up, she finds herself plastered against the side of a building, and Carnage asks if she's alive. "Good! I need your help. I want to be great. I want to be a hero. And you're going to teach me." Carnage begins to tell his origin story. How he watched his old man kill his mom. Or was it his stepdad killing his foster mom? See, he remembers things wrong sometimes. But it all works if it feels right. In any case, orphanages didn't work and society rejected him, which is why it was easy for him to just run around killing everyone. But death makes the hero embrace his fate. He has done so much wrong that it hurts. Guilt, nearly more than he can stand. So now he's going to save the world, because he could save her. Alice screams that if he is trying to be a hero, he can't keep her hostage. She'll show him how to be good, but he needs to let her down. She won't run. The first lesson to being a hero is that you can't break promises. Carnage thinks to himself, ponders the idea of letting her go. Maybe I could kill her, but I shouldn't do that. We then cut to later in the city with Carnage swinging down with Alice into a church. She tells him that part of being good is admitting the mistakes of his past. He can cleanse himself through confession and start clean. But Carnage sees that they are being watched, so he attacks the interloper. Turns out that the grave robber was actually a grave digger. So Alice decided to make Carnage a good guy, and he would need to apologize for breaking every bone in the old man's body. She takes out her phone and begins to record, stating that this will go online just so that the priests can find it easier. Now, state your name and how many people you've killed, Carnage. Carnage tells her, my name is Carnage, and for how many? Well, more than numbers that I know. I confess that I wanted to kill everyone, but I'm trying super hard not to. So starting now, I'm going to do more good. So next, Carnage heads into the city and stumbles upon a few bank robbers. Alice tells him that this is his chance. Stop the bank robbers. So he jumps in, taking the robber's gun, and he opens fire on them, causing their getaway car to explode. She asks him, what is he doing? He's making it worse. And Carnage tells her, chill out. God, I'll put out the fire. But while trying to douse the flames with a nearby fire hydrant, the police arrive and Carnage tells them, well, it's time to make our exit, Alice. As the police helicopter moves in, it hits Carnage's tendril and the fleshy mass clogs up the rotor, sending the helicopter barreling into a building. Carnage and Alice begin to plummet to the ground, and though Carnage attempts to save Alice, all he managed to do was lessen her fall. As Carnage gets to the ground, he finds that it's too late. The Sin Eater has appeared and has taken Alice. And what's more, the police were shooting rockets at him. As the rockets hit, Carnage finds himself dead and in heaven. Well, that wasn't fair! And an angel, Alice, tells him that life isn't fair. Carnage snaps back at her. Life is stupid! I'll kill them all! I'll be the king of everything! I have power! Alice tells him yes, he has great power. And with great power comes great something, like all kinds of stuff that she doesn't know. Then the devil, who is the Sin Eater, appears, taking Alice, as she yells to not be a jerk and save her, Carnage. You're good now, and you got mad skills, bro! Be a hero! As the crater smolders, Carnage wakes up climbing out. Yes, I'm coming for her, and the green ski mask guy! Later in the sewers, Alice is screaming for help, but Sin Eater tells her that she can scream all she wants. The rats don't care. She asks, what does he want? She can tell his story. Just talk to her. Sin Eater looks at a wall of news clippings telling her that she is a liar. Like the rest of them, I will save you, like I couldn't save myself. They crowned me with thorns to mock the son of the world. Alice looks at the news articles and realizes, wait, Eddie Brock was right. Oh God, are you Emil Gregg? But Detective Carter, he was the Sin Eater. Spider-Man caught him and everything. Sin Eater turns to her. They pierced my side with the spear of destiny because they could not believe. He pulls off his mask to reveal the green glowing skull. I can consume sin and absolve your eternal soul of its evil. The gift I can give for the meager price of your fleeting life. I can save you. Let us pray. As Sin Eater lifts his gun, a tendril sneaks in, knocking his arm before he can shoot Alice. And then that tendril begins to drag Alice out. She's flung into Carnage's arms and he asks, did you miss me? But Sin Eater runs out yelling, death to the liars! Carnage smacks the gun from the Sin Eater's hands, but Sin Eater says that he can smell his fears, like a mountain, so massive that merely contemplating it requires madness. Carnage tells him that he tried confession before, but it didn't work. But if it's sins you want, you can have them all! As Carnage floods Sin Eater with his own sins, Carnage yells, I can feel myself getting lighter! This crazy weight has been lifted off my shoulders. But giving all of those sins only made the Sin Eater stronger. So strong that he grew to the size of a building. He begins to yell that it is a magnificent feast. I swell with power, enough to compete with God himself. A Sin Eater attacks, Carnage laughs, telling him, "I can't believe that I've held that all in for so long. What a relief! But there's one more sin left, the worst of them all. One last confession to feed the beast. All of the murder and death and destruction and carnage, every second of it. I loved it all." As Sin Eater takes in that last sin, his love for the murder, the death, the destruction, and the carnage, he begins to yell, "No, it's too much." He explodes, releasing all of the sins. Carnage tells him, "It's over, Ski Mask. You can chill in peace now. And thanks for absolving me of my sins. Now I can move on from my past and start fresh as a good man." But Carnage's victory is short-lived as Alice takes the Sin Eater's gun and blows off Carnage's head. As it regrows, he asks her, "What the hell was that for?" She waves down the oncoming cops, shouting, "Over here, help!" And Carnage asks, "Why did you shoot me? I saved you. I was the hero. You promised to help me. You can't lie." She tells him that, well, she did lie. Nobody's all good, and most people are hardly good at all. And this is your final lesson, Carnage. Officer, shoot him! As Carnage is sprayed with bullets, he asks if this is what it's like when you kick an animal so that it will return to the wild and be free. Like, it looks mean. This is really for Carnage's own good. He gets it now. Happiness is death to a hero. A family would make him vulnerable, hesitant, and weak. And he would put them in danger. This is her true final lesson. This is what he must understand. To be good, to be a hero, he must be alone. And there you have it, a short chapter in the history of Carnage in which he was truly a good guy. Now, right now at the Comicstorian channel, I'm bringing you all of these weird one-off Carnage stories. Like last week, we did the Superior Carnage storyline, and this week we're doing the Carnage Axis storyline. We're working on Extreme Carnage. There's a Carnage Family storyline. Like a whole bunch of these like one-off storylines, because Carnage only shows up every couple of years, does something bizarre that, weirdly enough, doesn't involve Venom and Spider-Man that often. He goes off and does his own crazy stuff. So if you guys want more of that, consider hitting that bell and turning on notifications, as I'm going to try to bring you those videos once a week right now. We are the Comicstorian channel. I bring you synopsises of comic books just like this. We do keep things out of our narrative readings so that you can buy the book and understand it even better, and I hope you guys enjoyed this. Don't forget, if you want to support us further, come on over to our Patreon, patreon.com/Comicstorian. Right now we're working on Batman the Animated Series over there and the Wolverine book that you guys have voted on, so we have all that stuff over there. And if you come on over, you'll be a part of the next vote, which should be going out within the next week as I wrap up the Wolverine stuff. Thank you for your continued support, and I will see you next time right here.